Yo guys, Features Gaming here. Welcome back to another video here today, and as you can tell, we are on F122, and this is the highlights package of my league race. Probably my best league racing video of any racing title on F122, and this is the KRL League round 15, the final race of the league. I'm driving with the Mercedes AMG Patronus as I was signed by them literally in the final 3 seasons of season 3 before the new season. So this is round 15 at Brazil, the final race of this season. So coming out of the pits, just wanted to make sure my brakes were working because I have a bit of an issue with that. So we are in a short qualifying because there was only like 13 people in the server, I think. So this is my first lap. So coming up to the straight line, or the pit straight, opening up DRS as quick as possible to try and maximize the speed. So going over the line right now into turn 1, braking just after the 50-meter board, going down to 4th gear for the left-hander. You probably could short shift into 5th for the second corner, but I didn't, and continued to go around turn 3, and then opening up DRS for this next long straight, and then coming into turn 4, braking just after the 100-meter board, going down to 5th, and then just easing the power on there, trying to get as the maximum traction you can get. Coming into this next few corners, down to 6th for that one. Again, easy on the throttle, you don't want to spin out. You drop down to 3rd quickly and then short shift to 4th for that. I mean, there are plenty of different gears you can use for these corners. It is whatever feels better for you, and this is what felt good for me. This is how I was practicing. Again, another short shift into 4th for that corner as well, just to try and get the rear stable. Around that corner, completely flat, down to 4th for this corner. Don't clip the curb on the inside, and then just try and ease your way out of the corner, and then up you come on the pit straight, opening up DRS as quick as you can. Stay to the left to minimize track millimeters or meters, and across the line it is going to be a 108.797, and then you probably tell by my voice I didn't think that was a good lap, but that was a good lap, I think. And yeah, that puts me P5 currently, behind Casper, JM, 5 Wise and Pink, and some of the other drivers are starting to do their laps as well. So I had to go out, do another lap. I went out at about 9:30, I think, just to try and get another run in, and then I was seeing if I could maybe get a final run towards the end of qualifying as well. So again, opening up DRS for this straight, you don't want to miss that, otherwise you can lose probably a few tenths. And then coming into the first turn again, brake just after the 50-meter board, down to 4th for the first corner. I did that very better than the one before, and you can already see I'm green on my delta, up by nearly 2, or I am up by 2.5 tenths, maybe 3 tenths. I could have got that up to. But then coming into turn 4 again, braking. It's a purple sector 1 as well, but you can see now I lose out on my delta slightly. So I was a little bit, annoyed about that, but this is still going to be a pretty good lap if I keep it contained. Again, down to 6th, ease the power. Again, going down on my delta as well, but through this section, I gain a little bit back, and now I am gaining again on my delta, up to 3 tenths now up on my delta. And then if we come over here, and again, out of that corner, again, I gain a little bit on my delta, and then finishing off sector 2, I get another purple second sector, up by 4 tenths on my delta momentarily, back down to 3.5, and now it's cruising back up to 4. And if I finish off this lap, this could be a very good lap. I get pink sector 1, pink sector 2. I am 5.5 tenths off of my delta, 6 tenths off of my delta, and this is only going to be P4. I got purple sector 1 and 2. Or 108.174, and you could probably tell I was a little bit bummed about that. I don't know how that was only P4 and P5 now, actually, with Flying Slug, JM, Casper, and Dodo in front of me. I don't know how Flying Slug was able to get a 107 there, but he was absolutely on it during this qualifying session, and Dodo as well, trying to fight for his championship with him and Flying Slug as it was between those two to get the championship in this race. So this is the final lap I had in my qualifying session, so I needed to make sure it was going to be the perfect lap. So once again, opening up DRS, going up to turn 1, again, braking after the 50-meter board, go down to 4th, over to the left. Again, I'm up on my delta momentarily, but then through turns 2 and 3, I lose out, and I honestly have no idea how I lose that. But up to turn 4 now, again, just trying to make sure that I keep it contained, just after the 100-meter board, down to 5th, clip the curb on the inside a little bit, and you can now see I go up on my delta again, but it was red sector 1 as it stands, so it wasn't a really good sector 1 for me. But then into these couple of corners again, I gain a little bit on my delta, or quite a bit actually, and then now 2/10 of my delta as we go into this section of this section of corners, and you can again see only about 1/10.5 up on my delta. And then we go through these sequence of corners as well, 100, and you know, you can just see the delta by itself. It's going up. Purple sector 2, so very good sector 2, and now it's flat out up to the line. We are again going up on my delta a little bit, going down, it's kind of fluctuating a little bit. 2/10 up on my delta. Where is that going to put me? That is going to put me P2 in the Grand Prix for the race with a 107.933, and you can tell I was very happy about that. But again, Flying Slug up there in P1 and Dodo behind me, and it is between those two for the championship. And as you can tell, that was my engineer Big B being absolutely static with my performance there, and he was actually doing the commentary at the same time. So into the race strategy, I elect to start on the hard tires, going to the mediums. I originally forgot what Big B said, as you can probably hear just there, but it was 20 laps on the hards and then mediums to the end. We did switch it up a little bit during the race, and you can probably hear him right now telling me to put in the correct amount of fuel into the car as well for the race. So hard medium was my strategy. So getting into the race to 5 red lights, it's lights out and away we go. Not an initial start, but then I get the traction down really well and I go past Flying Slug, so a pretty good start. Try to go down the inside, he's going to hold it on the outside, and actually I thought he was going to tap me, but then I have to slot into P2. Dodo again going into my inside for turn 2, but again he backs out, and that was really all that happened for the start. So we're going into lap 2 now, and I was not really catching up to Flying Slug. I was really just focusing on just trying not to make mistakes, but as you can see, Casper now behind me, so Dodo must have dropped down a bit. Casper looking very quick, but he's on those mediums, I am on the hard, so I do have the tire advantage in the final part of the race. But as you can see, Casper on those medium tires, those fresh medium tires, are going to be way quicker than the hards at this stage. And as you can see, just down the back straight, he might be running a bit of less downforce as well, but he elects to try and have a look on the outside. I cover up on the inside, and I think I defend my position pretty well, and I stay ahead momentarily of Casper. And again, as I said, I didn't know actually at the time that it was between Flying Slug and Dodo for the championship, so I was just trying to, you know, go my race as it should do. And as you can see, Casper there again having another look down the inside, but again can't make any positions just then. And then again onto the end of lap 3, again I go deep into that corner because I was honestly so nervous during this race. I did not want to give up this podium chance, but yeah, that allows Casper to have a little look down the inside, but again I just have the traction and managed to keep ahead of him. And then coming up here, I think Casper had a bit of a moment out of the final corner, which lost him a bit of space. But as you can see, just from his straight line speed, and he has DRS now, he's literally catching. And by the time we get to turn 1 of lap 4, he's basically right behind me again. So yeah, I was a little bit concerned about how he was able to literally catch up as quick as he did, and I get a little bit of an exceeding track limits warning there, but again that was only my first warning, so nothing too bad. And then Casper again having a look at me, and you can hear Big B, he actually forgot to mute himself because, as I said, he was doing commentary. He forgot to mute himself, and again there was a little bit of contact there at the back if you could see that, but again I just managed to stay ahead. But again, Casper now coming back up me, going into lap 6, round the outside of turn 1, I defend again pretty well into turns 2 and 3, again just trying to keep it clean, trying to not make any mistakes, but Casper is still all over the back of me. And as you can see, I elect to try go down to the inside, he goes on the outside, but with his power I try and, you know, fight it, but I don't really want to take any necessary risks, and Casper does get ahead of me, and now I've got Dodo behind me as well. And you know, I wasn't really trying to, you know, like fight any drivers, you know, insanely, you know, bad. I just wanted to make sure that I could keep it clean and things like that, and not make any silly mistakes. But Dodo, as you can see, now all over the back of me, going on to lap 7, he goes to the outside of turn 1, I defend pretty well, he's now on me inside for turn 2, I leave him space, but I have the good traction. And then out of turn 3, he then switches to the inside to get a better line. I couldn't do anything about that really, and he's passed me before we get to the braking zone of turn 4, so I had to say goodbye to P3. And again, nothing really happened here. There was a little moment here when I was trying to catch up to Dodo, and Big B again, you know, was just telling me to try and save ERS. And Dodo really defended that position well. I couldn't really do anything to do there, so I was just trying to stay behind Dodo. And nothing really after that really happened. I mean, I was chasing him a little bit here, but again, I'm just too far back, and you know, trying to make a move there wasn't going to be the most sensible option there. So then we fast forward to lap 11, where Cosmo is now actually behind me, and as you can tell, I was a little bit panicking, and he goes for a good send there. And to be fair to him, he made the move and without contact as well. Good driving from Cosmo there in the Haas. And yeah, that was me saying goodbye to P4 as well and into P5. But again, penalties can play a factor, and as you can tell me there as well, just asking Big B what should I do. A little moment there in lap 13, and honestly, my heart was in my mouth during that moment. I honestly thought I would have lost it and I was going to go into the barrier, but I managed to save it. And you can see Dodo there as well, who had span it as well. That is not good for his championship hopes, and yeah, that is not good. And then on to P16, or lap 16, sorry. Casper and Cosmo both pit, and because those mediums were going quite a while, and I was actually surprised of how much tire life those guys had. But now on to lap 20. Flying Slug now pits, who is the leader of the Grand Prix, and I stay out for another lap. And unquestionably, I am now leading the Grand Prix. Lap 21, and my tyres were starting to feel it as well. And on the very next lap, or at the end of lap 21, I decided to come in for my pit stop as well. So again, left my braking a little bit late to try and, you know, reduce, as you can tell. And again, heading for purple in the pit stop phase to try and get the best time possible. Pretty good stop, a 2.2 second pit stop from the team. And that allowed me to change my tyres and get out pretty quickly. So coming out of the pits, where am I going to end up? Am I going to be still in P2? I mean, I'm not, because I'm already out of that. Casper, though, as you can see, really switched on these tyres. So did Cosmo as well. But I am going to come out close to Cosmo, and it's going to be a battle between Cosmo, me, and then Cobra behind in the McLaren. He elects to go onto the inside for that. And again, I have super cold tyres, and I wasn't going to fight that. And like I said, you know, I didn't want to make any mistakes. But as you can see, coming out here as well, I do have some pace, but not enough to make the move on the McLaren driver as of yet on lap 22. Again, he's not looking the best. I think he didn't have the best qualifying session. He was trying a Lewis Hamilton back in 2021, and yeah, he is not seeming the best of confident drivers. But as well, me being very nervous and trying to not make mistakes, I wasn't able to catch up, and I was trying to, but he then goes onto the back straight, and I will have DRS. Let's see if I can do anything coming into lap 23. But again, I'm just too far back, and I really don't think that I'll be able to make a move coming into turn 1 on lap 23. And again, I'm just trying to keep with Cobra, you know, trying to get his DRS and then seeing if both of us can get the move on Cosmo, because Cosmo, I think at the moment hadn't pitted yet, so he was, oh wait, no, he did pit, sorry.
Yeah, you'll get his position without penalties. Don't get a penalty.
And Cobra, as you can just see there, got a penalty, so I am now net P5. And I think there was probably another position as well further up that someone hadn't pitted. I think Cobra is still yet to pit, I'm not entirely sure. But I mean, you can see I'm just trying to stay with them, and it's a little bit tricky to do so. And me just trying to, you know, maximize my gears and, you know, everything like that. Just trying to keep ahead. But not much I can really do. But coming onto the home straight here on lap 23, can I do anything? Again, I'm just too far back to even try and make a move there. And there Cobra has a little bit of a moment on the exit of turn 1 there that allows me a little bit of an opportunity. I see the opportunity, I turn on ERS, I turn on DRS as well, and I try and go to the inside, but Cobra's defending it very well. I elect to go onto the outside. Again, don't really have the power really to make a move, and again, I didn't really want to make a silly mistake there. And again, I have a little bit of a moment there, but don't think anything of it and back out. And again, I didn't want to make any silly mistakes in order for me to lose this podium, because I wanted this podium, but as it stands, I do not have the podium. But here, Cobra managed to get past Cosmo. Cosmo as well has a penalty as well, so I'm actually ahead of him as well. I turn on DRS, and he turns over very, very aggressive to the right there. And I had to, you know, take evasive action. And I was honestly thinking about, you know, sending in a post to the stewards to have a look at that. But I thought not really. And as you can see there, Cosmo picks up another 3-second penalty, and he then just goes straight on, and he crashes out. He's had enough, and that wasn't, that wasn't professional from him. And he brings out the full safety car from that crash, and I don't actually know if he got a penalty for that, which he should have done. But coming into the pits, I was a bit hesitant to actually come into the pits because I didn't know if this was the right call. But after looking back at the footage, I think it was. Let's go onto the soft tyres to have the maximum amount of traction. I thought Cobra was serving his penalty there, but he wasn't. And I think when I come out of the pits, I was a net P4, I think, maybe. As I think no one really had penalties. As you can see, Pink there as well. I was kind of surprised that Pink didn't pit. And everyone who pitted under the safety car, I think, either went onto mediums and I think there was only one other person on softs. But there, on the safety car restart, I tried to time that really well, but I wasn't able to. But as you can see, Cobra and Pink really going at it into turn 2. Massive contact. Well, I say massive contact, it's just a bit of wheel banging between those two. I'm seeing this unfolding right in front of me, so I try and go for a move. I switch on ERS. No DRS for 2 laps after a safety car. But again, Cobra's just too fast, and I could have probably, you know, stayed in the slipstream for that, and Big B just told me again. We're coming on to lap 31, on to lap 32. As you can see, Big B, not Big B, Cobra, sorry, going very, very, or not going slow, but me trying to get that. But again, he did say for me to go onto the outside, but it was a bit of a late call. But coming into lap 32, Pink and Cobra, again, going at it, very squabbling at it, and I'm just watching this unfold right in front of me. I think Cobra picks up another second there. Me saying out probably there was a little bit exaggerating as JM tried to go for a move. But again, Pink and Cobra going at it. And as you can see, Pink covers up Cobra. Cobra goes very wide. Pink there. And I try and go for the move on Pink. And this is what Big B had to say about that.
No one beat it! Go!
As we're hearing Big B rooting for his team member as he's looking to take P4 now off of Pink. And he does take P4, but is he a whole car length ahead? No, there's still several cars going for this podium place. As that is features now up to P4, but what?
So as you can see, Big B was really, really rooting for me there on the commentary. That's what he had to say about it, and that's how I got past Big B. Literally, I used all of my ERS, all of my DRS, stayed on the outside.
Please keep quiet.
And yeah, I was asking Big B to stay a little bit quiet there, because honestly, I was now just trying to focus so bad on this and trying not to make any mistakes now. And on to lap 35 now, onto the final lap of the Grand Prix. Casper right there in front of me. And yeah, I am now actually in a net podium. I'm just trying to chase down 5 wise, just trying to stick with him. Casper can see me behind him. He goes very defensive. I try and elect to go onto the outside. As you can see, I have a little look on the outside. Sorry for messing up my words there, but again, I couldn't make anything of it. And again, I was just trying to keep up with Casper and not trying to, you know, get out of 5 wise's 3 seconds with his penalty. Again, Pink is still trying to get past me, but again, as I was saying, I wasn't going to risk anything with Casper because I did not want to get out of the 3-second penalty from 5 wises. That would have allowed me to get the podium. And as you can see, me coming around here, coming up to the final corner, or the final real corner in F1 cars, and me there, I was kind of thinking, yep, that's done it. I switch on ERS for the final time of the Grand Prix. I still have DRS from Casper, so I turn that on, try and keep to the left to minimize all of the traction. Flying Slug wins the championship, but me is in P3. And I was very, very, very happy about that. And actually post-race as well, Nick, sorry, Flying Slug, got a penalty. And I actually got P2, which if I got past Casper on that, I would have gotten a win. P2, and that was my race at Brazil, round 15 of KRL Season 3. And I hope you all enjoyed.